Hello, this is Connor Super Goofy, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be covering Connor's hot list, the year-end hot list for my junior year of high school. Remember how I said that my sophomore year of high school sucked in every way except for the hot list? Well, my junior year sucked in every way including the hot list. I'm looking I'm looking at all these songs here, and wow, my junior year was that unexciting. Now, um, this is the single school year that I think, in terms of my rotation, has aged the worst. Also, um, like I barely listen to any of these songs anymore. Certainly not on a regular basis. So, and I guess the ones I do listen to on a regular basis came from earlier than my junior year. So let's jump into this. So we got the number one song here, Easel Weasel, which ruled absolutely everything. Um and of course ended up being the number one song of the year. I released it right at the very beginning of my junior year, and it rocketed up to number one in a week on the hot list and stuck around the entire year. In fact, it lasted almost to my senior year. In fact, it lasted through most of the 2024 summer before falling off like at the end of July of 2024. The number two song, but Easel Weasel is, yeah, it's definitely the um and it's definitely the worst aging of the top hits of my top hits of every school year. It's definitely the worst aging one. It's definitely the one that has lived on the least. Even though I am super proud of the fact that I was able to use a tongue twister for a hook. The number two song here, honestly, probably should have been number one for the sole reason for that this that this is the song that I remember my junior year by. The song "Miss the Rage" by Trippie Redd and Playboi Carti obviously um hit the hot list right at the very beginning of August before school started and took 3 days to get to number one. I remember that very clearly. And it also lasted on the hot list the entire school year. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily it's exciting, it has energy, but like I said, definitely hasn't really stuck around in my rotation. Number three, we got kind of a sad one here, Daylight by David Kushner. This is a song that I once again heard for the first time very early in my junior year, and this one didn't stick around quite as long as the other super high ones on this list. This only stuck around to like December or January. I can't remember which, but its impact was big enough for it to land in the top three. Um, but I remember like hearing this in like the opening days of the school year and like loving it immediately. Number four, Wicked Ways by Sebi Johal and QL of Landfill. Um, this is a BandLab song. And actually, I think it's definitely a good song, although once again, it has the problem of having not lasted in my rotation. Um, Once again, this one hit the hot list very early in the year, um, in early September, and um, it actually took a little bit longer to get to number one. It took like a couple weeks, but we're not even gonna touch on number five because Cake by the Ocean obviously carried over from my sophomore year. It carried over from 2022. It was on the hot list that long that it scored a top five position for a year and a half after it first hit the hot list. Number six, um, we have Mike Posner, Cooler Than Me. This is one of the more upbeat ones, but it definitely definitely has the same problem of it having not lasted in my rotation. This was actually bubbling under on the hot list for a good chunk of the 2023 summer before finally breaking through early in the school year. Um, a lot of the more energetic, upbeat tracks on this year's year-end hot list um were on the hot list before my junior year started. And that is certainly the case for our number seven song here, Mosh Pit by Stray featuring Shada Kid, which first broke through on the hot list on the 4th of July of 2023, almost immediately shot to number one, and actually fell off the hot list pretty quickly after that, but then returned in like October or November, made it to number two. Number eight is the first song on this list that actually hit the hot list a while into the school year, and this is this ran at number this is another song that has the problem of not really standing the test of time in my rotation. But man, this I couldn't escape from. Not neither in my rotation nor on the radio. Um, This was number one for a very, very long time on Connor's hot list. Um, in fact, it would be the longest running number one of the school year on the hot list were it not for Creator at the end of the school year, coming in and running on the hot list even longer. This was like more than 2 weeks total. This ran on the hot number one on the hot list. Number nine is another example of the more upbeat, energetic tracks on the hot list from my junior year actually hitting the hot list well before it started. We got California Love here by Tupac, which um, I actually more associate with the good memories. I actually associate the good memories that I associate with the song. I actually associate them more with 2023 as a calendar year than I do my junior year. So, which makes it even more ironic about the fact that this actually placed even higher on the junior year-end hot list than it did on the 2023 one. It only placed number 11 in 2023, which, to be fair, is only two spots higher on the junior year end hot list, but still, I think it's kind of funny that the way that kind of works. Um, Number 10 is extensions. This is another one that I couldn't escape in my rotation at all this school year. So number 10 here we got extensions by Stray and X Forever 9X off the Time Kills All album. Um, this was my back to school anthem, and it played like every 4 or 5 songs in my rotation back when it was huge on Connor's Hot List, which is how it's able to place as high as number 10. But it didn't actually last as long as a lot of these other huge ones up here. Number 11 is Alpha by C418, the Minecraft credit song, which hit the hot list right before my junior year started, and it actually took a bit to get to number one, but was I would actually consider it one of the best songs that hit the hot list, like one of the very best, even though it's one extremely downbeat and almost kind of bittersweet in its music, but and two, like it's 10 minutes long. This is actually the longest song to ever hit the hot list at a staggering 10 minutes and 3 seconds. Um, the shortest song, by the way, to ever hit the hot list. Um, the um at the time of my junior year ending also had come from my junior year, a song that lasted 38 seconds long, no longer. But it was almost kind of an interlude, honestly, that hit the hot list. But that record would be broken during the 2024 summer. Number 12 is Iceman and Stray's 25. This is another example of the more energetic tracks coming to the hot list before my junior year started. Um, this was higher on my year-end hot list for 2023. And I definitely associate it more with the 2023 summer than I do my junior year. Number 13, Gangnam Style, another example of um all the big energetic hits of the school year coming to the hot list before the school year started. This one also came. This one is another one like cooler than me that was mostly just bubbling up during the 2023 summer, then finally broke through early in the school year though. Number 14, Armed. This is definitely more of a 2023 song that hit the hot list during the 2023 summer and dominated the summer and carried into the school year enough that it ended up super high on the year-end chart for my junior year also. Number 15 brings us to a theme um that um I haven't really mentioned yet, that the my junior year was actually a good year on the hot list for the Madden 18 soundtrack in particular. I have a lot of memories with Madden 18 back when I lived in Ohio, and a lot of the those songs from the soundtrack hit the hot list my junior year. We have another one right down here at number 17, but we'll get to that in a second. And this one actually is the latest that into the school year that we've seen so far, hitting the hot list in December almost immediately. I think it debuted at number 12 and debuted super high and almost immediately went to number one. Um, and it was on and off number one for quite a bit, actually, as well. Um, this is probably the most explicit number one on in the history of the hot list. Um, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but yeah. Um, I thought it was a fun thing to point that out. Number 16, Overflow by Stray. This one, um, this song was released by Stray right before the school year started, and this one didn't go to number one. This one peaked at number five, which is quite interesting. The fact that I was able to make it this high without getting to number one. Um, Number 17, Glow Up by Meek Mill. This is another one that hit the hot list early in the school year and um just kind of lingered around for a bit. Um, Number 18, so Cash Dami is a fairly obscure underground rapper who the only reason that I know that this person even exists is because of X Forever 9X. X Forever 9X samples Cash Dummy like in pretty much he sampled Cash Dummy in pretty much every one of his like songs that he posted on BandLab on that first account which he deleted. And 51 was one of those songs and that ended up becoming the beneficiary of that. So this one was actually able to come to Connor's Hot List on its own and make it all the way up to number 3 in September. Now, if there's any song, now none of these songs above here, except for maybe Glow Up, I would actually say, have stood the test of time on the Hot List. Or no, sorry, in my rotation. But if there's one song that has stood the test of time, it's this at number 19, Greedy by Tate McRae. Um, which hit the Hot List in October, almost immediately went to number 1, and um, this is a song that I still enjoy to this day. So, um, yeah, number 20, we have The Weeknd featuring Labyrinth, a random deep cut off of his 2015 album Beauty Behind the Madness, which I listened to and really liked. And yeah, this one hit number 1. I think this is kind of another example of how unexciting my junior year was for the Hot List, though. Um, the fact that we have obscure deep cuts from big albums from like 10 years before hitting the Hot List and going to number 1. Um, I think I don't really think I need to say much more than that. 21 Chicken Sandwich by BKMY. Another BandLab artist. Um, this is the first BandLab artist that hit the Hot List big that wasn't hip hop. Actually, I think Dreamcatcher, aka now Dreaming, that hit the Hot List before that was was also not hip hop, but um didn't hit but they didn't hit the year end hot list. BKMY did though, and this song is good. Um but there's a song that they released a lot later than this that actually I think was actually even better that didn't hit the year end hot list. Number 22 and 23, I kind of pair them together in my mind because they're both from movie soundtracks and they both hit the hot list at about the same time and lasted a similar amount of time. Better Place by NSYNC from the Trolls Band Together soundtrack and Dance the Night by Dua Lipa from the Barbie soundtrack are both are both two songs that hit the hot list in October, went to number 1 at similar times, and lasted similar amounts of time on the hot list. Now, my junior year got really dark on Connor's hot list, and the darkest it got is probably here with number 24, Dead to Life. This is an acoustic grunge song um, about it's an acoustic grunge song about suicide, and this hit the hot list. Stray was a rapper, and I think it's important to mention that Stray was a rapper up until this point. All the way up till December when he released this song, Stray was a rapper, and then all of a sudden he completely switched genres, changed his name from Young Stray to Stray, and released this, a extremely dark, extremely gloomy, grungy, acoustic song about suicide, which, um, like I don't think I need to explain to you like the shock that came from this. This ended up being the lead single to Stray's album Then and Now, which is actually really good. Um, there and Dead to Life I think is definitely one of the best songs on this album. But yeah. Um, Number 25 is actually a point where we come out of the darkness. We have Legacy by NIH State Line, which once again, the more upbeat, happier songs of my junior year on the hot list didn't actually come from my junior year. They came from just before it. This is another one of those songs which hit the hot list during the summer and um like Gangnam Style and Cooler Than Me, this was actually bubbling under for quite a bit before actually getting to number one. Number 26, I don't really have much to say about, except that this is another song that kind of defines um the mood that the music on the hot list was in during my junior year. Number 27, this one actually came out of Coach Bonner's class. Coach Bonner was my U.S. history teacher my junior year, and I remember hearing this song in his class and really liking it. So, yeah, I found it in December. It hit the hot list and went to number one in early January. Number 28. I mean, you've heard this song by now. You probably understand the appeal. I don't really need to explain the appeal of Bohemian Rhapsody to you, but this song actually um that song I was hearing all the time on like the greatest hits stations during the 2023 summer, and it wouldn't have hit the list, honestly, if it were not for Homecoming. Number 29 is Baby Bash. This one hit the hot list early in the school year and just kind of lingered around for a bit. Number 30, Drake featuring Yeet here, IDGAF. Another, there's another song like Way Too Sexy from my freshman year, which honestly, was it that good? Was it really that good? And then number 31, let me introduce you to Alex Tutak. Alex Tutak was a is Alex Tutak was a rapper and that had been bubbling under on Connor's hot list since like the spring of 2023 that finally hit big and got his first number one single on the hot list when he released his album Made It Out the Hood in September. And the title track is the song that ended up going all the way up to number one. It didn't last very long, but I think that it's a pretty good song. 32, probably by Glitched and NIH State Line. This was another song that kind of sums up how almost kind of downbeat my junior year was for most of the hot list. And so does number 33, Too Much by the Kid Laroi. 34, man, this is a good song. Like you can pretty much guarantee that an Adele song is going to hit unless it's from 25, which I honestly wasn't a fan of the hits from that album, but this one a deeper cut off of her first album 19, Cold Shoulder, and this was really good. It should have lasted a lot longer than it did. Hit the hot list in September and yeah, actually I should change this to August. This song actually first hit the hot list in August. Um, Number 35. This is X Forever 9X under his. This is actually his third account. Um, um, this song, obviously samples a TikTok song also called Blue Hair, and puts a Young Chris type trap beat over it. I haven't heard any Young Chris, by the way. I don't really necessarily go that far underground when it comes to rap, like modern rap. I usually stay all the way up near the top. Um, 36 Bandballing by Emp and Stray. This is another song that was actually really fun and kind of upbeat and catchy on the Hot List my junior year, which hit the Hot List before my junior year started. It's another one of those songs. And we still have more to go. I can see one of them a little bit lower down also. Um, Number 37, don't really have much to say about this. Neither for number 38. Number 39, another song that hit the list before the school year started that was actually upbeat and kind of fun. Um, Number 40, don't really have much to say about this except the kind of the sadness and the agony of the song really um kind of got to me, and that's how it was able to really take off on the hot list. 41, don't have many thoughts about. I don't really have many thoughts about this. Another kind of upbeat sort of song that hit the hot list before the school year. So is number 45. Um and I figured I mentioned everything I need, which is the first new number one song of 2024. Which like Everybody Talks, which I mentioned about from my sophomore year, is another first number one of the calendar year that didn't stick around. But yeah, I think I've pretty much summed it all up. That's about it. See ya.